Hey, does it feel like the world is a little upside down right now? Well, what if everything was right with the world? Whoa. Does the world feel upside down right now? Well, what if everything was right with the world, but in your mind, you were the one that was having the perspective issue? We're going to talk about it next on The Lift. Welcome to The Lift. You gotta own it, baby. Oh, yes, you gotta own it, baby. Hello, everybody. I'm Pat Laurie. Thank you so much for joining me on this edition of The Lift. Okay, I'm gonna redo that beginning because that was a little upside down. Wouldn't you agree? So, what I was trying to say was, does it feel like the world is upside down right now? Well, what if everything was right in the world? But what if you were the person that was upside down? Imagine that. How can you upright yourself? Well, that's what we're going to talk about today on The Lift because, we all are facing a series of challenges, right? Think about the world right now. What are we hearing about today? 5G, Omicron, natural disasters, extreme cold, hostage situations. There's a lot going on, and you got to filter out all that noise because we got to start to begin to be positive. What if you are searching for a job? What is your vibration? How can you change that negativity if you are having negativity? What if you don't even know you're coming across as a negative person? Well, we're going to talk about it today on The Lift. I'm very happy to have a special guest with us today, Debbie Sodergren. She's an energy, body, vibration expert, an author, a speaker, and she is a master of being able to shift your energy. Debbie, thanks so much for joining us today.
Hey, good morning. Good morning. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year! You are coming from sunny Florida. I'm so jealous. Up in the Northeast, we are in the deep freeze, but that's part of being in New England, I guess, right?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, one of the things that I needed to do to help raise my vibration and keep me in my well-being is to get myself into a warm weather climate for the winter. I've maxed out my quota with cold weather and my body's ability to handle it. So yeah, I'm coming to you from sunny Florida. I'm loving it down here.
That's amazing. And it's all in how you frame things. So let's talk about this is going to be 15 minutes, quick hit. We want to help people out. They might be in a funk. Someone told me the other day, it's like you could say you're in a depression or in a funk, but a funk is a little different than a depression. So let's talk about energy and how you frame things. How can we change things up?
Oh, absolutely. Thank you. This is such an interesting topic for now. Beginning 2022, we can already feel the energy shifting. Some of us might be feeling a little bit lighter. We might have a little bit more of hop in our step, and we're like, what's really going on for us? And I want to just say what's happening is there's a point where we have to realize that we are in control of how we are feeling, when we need to really harness that we have the power within us in order to shift into our well-being. And what that looks like is just being mindful in these unknowing times. That seems to be the topic of discussion right now. And people want to know, what are the things that I can do to raise my vibration right now? I get up in the morning, I feel good, and then I find out from them what their routine is. And if the routine is that they're putting on the news and they're trying to get what they, the weather, and they end up getting this slew of other information coming in at them, it just kind of lowers their vibration because what are they feeding us through the main news networks? They're feeding us a lot of fear. And so I'm inviting people to just do it differently this year. Instead of turning on the TV, maybe you can get your news from a news app on your phone. That way you're filtering and you're putting up some boundaries around your energy. You're keeping your vibration high. One thing I can
like
say,
that.
You like that?
that a lot. Yeah, because you know what? So I used to be in the news, and I took a news nap for about 5 years, and I was the happiest person. I'm like, I might have been a little ignorant during that time, but ignorance is bliss. I don't want
Right.
to hear constant negativity. So now what I do is I basically subscribe to I like the Katie Couric Media, and she has this like daily digest that she emails me, and it's just like the top hits. Yes, there are the issues that are going on in the world, but then there's always several bright light stories, and I want to be attracted to those. So is it how you start your day? What if you just don't feel like, what if your intentions are great, like I want this to be a great day. I mean, I get out of bed and say it's going to be a great day, but what if you just don't feel like it, or what if you can't get yourself out? How can you physically change your energy?
Sure. What I recommend to change your energy is first of all, first and foremost, the most important thing, and it's so easy that we kind of disregard it. We go, well, that's so simple. Does that really work? I don't know. Did you give it a try? And that tool would be to just, like, say you're going to go in on a job interview, right? Before you even get on, just give yourself a moment to just sit and do 3 cleansing breaths. And what that looks like is put your feet flat on the floor, uncross your legs, place your palms flat on your thighs. Just lower your eyes to the floor or close your eyes and take 3 cleansing breaths. You breathe in through the nose, hold it at the top of the breath, and then you exhale through your mouth. You do that 3 different times.
I like that because that's simple and easy. And sometimes I even use that to calm my nerves. I do the square breathing, where you breathe in, you hold it, and then you breathe out and hold it, and breathe in and hold it. And it works. And I time it. I do it with my Apple Watch. I'm like, I watch my heart rate go down. Okay, so that's good. Music.
Yeah. So the breath work really just gets you present into the moment. That's what it does. Once you're in the moment, then you can actually set your intention. What is your goal right now? Not the rest of your day, because you can always do a reset throughout your day. This isn't a one and done kind of thing. These are tools that will help you make a new habit. It's insanity. We all want something different, but we all keep using the same tools. Why not do it differently? It's all about what your consciousness is and what's happening in your subconscious. So I just like to have people do that and then journal. Take a few minutes and journal. Like if you have a bad situation, if something didn't go well, maybe you took the job in the interview and you feel like the interview didn't go well, take out a notebook and journal. Write down all of what's going on up here onto that journal. So then you're not ruminating about it all by yourself. You've got it on the paper. You can go back and you can visit it later. Maybe you'll discuss it with somebody and you'll get some insights and you'll get a different shift in your perspective around it. That's the key, is having that different shift of perspective.
Absolutely, because our mental patterns create our experiences. And, I have obviously a lot of people are going through a very hard time right now. And you know what? I'm going to put myself in that category. But I try to fight it every single day. And it takes a lot of mindfulness to fight it
Right.
and to fight those thoughts. But our thoughts really create our reality. But let's talk a little bit about how our energy can attract what we're looking for, because I write out my manifestation list every year, my vision board. This is what I want in my life. But if my energy isn't attracting what I want, how can I make that come into alignment more? I mean, I can journal about it, but do I actually have to feel success to be successful?
Oh, absolutely. So a great thing to do would be, again, let's go back to, you've had a tough situation where you've had a tough conversation with someone and you don't want to carry that around you the rest of your day. You just don't want it to mess up the rest of your day. So another thing that you can do is you can just release it. If you don't have time to journal it, just say to yourself, all right, it happened. Let me just shelf it right now. Compartmentalize it somewhere in your brain that you'll go revisit it later. And what that looks like is maybe you will snap your fingers. Snapping will change the frequency. Our body is a vibration. And the way I explain it to people is, if you've ever been at the sink and you're doing the dishes and someone's trying to sneak up behind you, right? And then you turn and you see them before they get to you, it's because you felt their energetic field. So, yeah, it's the coolest thing.
And then I would scream.
So what I'm saying is, snap your fingers, shift up that vibration, and then take a nice big breath. Say, okay, let me put on some music. Let me just get myself into a happier mode. Let me raise my vibration. As you raise your vibration, you become lighter, you become more open, you have clarity, and it changes the frequency in your brain. You're building a different pathway. The neuroscience shows that you're building a different pathway in your brain, and you're not going to the habit. The habit is to ruminate about it and keep doing it the same way. That's what we're breaking.
I love it. And what comes to mind for me is perfect example. When you're in the this happened to me like around the holidays, which are always very difficult for me. So I'm in the grocery store and they play some Adele song, and I literally start crying in the grocery store. And I'm like, okay, they're not allowed to play Adele during the holidays. So that sad song, or how she strikes me emotionally, put me into a total disarray. But yet, if there was like a disco song from the 70s, I'd be like, okay, the holidays aren't so bad. And I might even break out into dance in the aisle. So it really does have a direct effect on us.
Absolutely. There's other things. There's other tools I use. I have what I call a tuning fork. It's calibrated to the frequency of a 528 hertz, which is a homeostasis. So in the morning after I come back from sleep, first thing I do after I have a cup of tea is I'll tune my body. I'll tap that tuning fork all around myself, all around my office. I have diffusers in my office throughout my home. I used essential oils. That's another thing that can help raise your vibration. Is smelling something citrusy will lift your vibration. Something floral will help lift your vibration. So we can use our five senses. We can incorporate our five senses into our other senses that we are developing and we are harnessing. And that's the key, is that there's not a one and done kind of thing. It's something that evolves over time. And sometimes something works for you one time and it doesn't work for you the next time you reach for it. So it's good to have a whole pocket full of tools that you can draw from.
I love it. And while you were speaking, I was spraying some citrus room spray, which I made myself, and is lovely. And so the other thing too, you're right. These are all tools that we can use in our toolbox. So if you don't have a tuning fork, which I don't, but I have experienced one of those, and they're pretty amazing. What I do is I just put like a YouTube video on, and every
Absolutely.
morning or every night I put a 10-minute morning meditation or an evening meditation, and it literally like chills me out. And the other day I put one on and I was so happy because I was hopeful. And to me, like if I can wake up with hope, I mean that's it, that's where it's at.
Yeah.
That means a lot. So self-talk is super important because that can actually heal our body. And I mean, I think do our cells respond to our thoughts?
Absolutely. So just like they say the adage of saying you are what you eat, you are your thoughts. So depending what kind of thoughts you're feeding you, that's what you're going to attract to you. How many times have you been in a bad mood and then you run into somebody and they're just like sucking your energy out because they're telling you all the negative stuff going on in their life, right? You're like, oh my God, I got to get away from this. I got to clear it out. Snap your fingers, get away from it. Another thing you can do is, I call it the solar plexus shift. You're talking to somebody and you're facing them and you can just feel them sucking all of your positive energy out of you. Like, oh my God, like you're trying to give them your undivided attention by looking at them and you can just feel them sucking your life force out of you. So I just want to teach you guys, like, shift your body away from them so you're not plugged in with your solar plexus, but you're still giving them your undivided attention by looking at them. Right? It just diffuses
Oh,
that emotion. You're unplugging your emotional center from theirs, and it
I
gives
like
you
that.
back your power.
But what if you're on the phone with them? Put them
You can
on.
do the same thing. You can
You know
do the
what I
same
did the
thing.
other
You
day?
can,
This is awful. And I got to admit to what I did. I was listening to someone speak and they were ranting on and on and on. It was a very negative conversation. So I put the phone on mute and I said what I wanted to say, not so nicely. And then I took it off mute again and I was like, oh, I feel so much better.
and the important thing about that, Pat, is that you honored what you were feeling. You didn't try to squash it somewhere in your body. You actually released it and let it back out into the ethers to go back up into the universe. So you didn't hold on to that. You actually acknowledged it. And that's a key point. Earlier we were talking about that. And it's about acknowledging it right now and doing something about it, whether it's snapping your fingers, whether it's putting somebody on hold and being, oh my God, I can't take this, whatever it is. Express it and get it out of your body. Don't hold it in your body. Your cells hold memories.
Ah, okay. Yeah, that, you know what? I did feel immediately better. And I think, listen, we have to do things to help ourselves. And I wasn't feeling disingenuous at the moment and I wasn't being fake, but what I was trying to do was control my emotions or express my emotions, but without exploding on the other person. So that's what I did. And I actually felt better. So Debbie, tell me a little bit about, you are also a medium, right? So you're a healer and a medium. And tell me a little bit about that.
Sure. So I'm a Reiki master teacher. I graduated from the New England School of Metaphysics back in 1998. I went there for 6 years, took everything they had to offer. And through my development, I tapped back into my ability to get messages for people. So what happens is, as people are on my table, I started to get either a word or a vision of something, and it didn't make any sense to me. And I finally, my guides were like, every time I would meditate before I'd go to work, my guides were like, girl, like, it's time, like, you need to start sharing this information. And I would like talk to them and I'd be like, well, I think they're going to think I'm crazy. They're not going to come to me again. And all that fear, all of my ego wanting to keep me small and keep me protected. I finally had to just talk to my ego and say, listen, let's just give this a try. What's the worst thing that's going to happen? We'll do it with one person. So I had a client, they were on my table. They'd been coming to me for a while. And I said, hey, by the way, when you're on my table, I get messages, and are you interested in hearing what they are? And the person was like, absolutely. And I'm like, it makes no sense to me. And I shared the message with them, and it brought them so much relief. And what I realized was, by not being my authentic self, I was holding out what my gifts are in order to be of service to others. So
That's
it was
amazing. I love it. And you listened to your inner self and you honored yourself, which is amazing. And I think a lot of people going through change right now, or through that, I want to shift my career, but I'm fearful because maybe I'm not, maybe I don't have 18 of the 20 skills needed that are listed on this, this job application. But you have to sort of push it and go there. What would you say to those people to encourage them?
Sure. So I would say, figure out what it is that would make you the best candidate for that position. You may not have all 20 of the 18 things. That's not what they're really looking for. They're looking for somebody that has the confidence to do the job, and to do the job the best way that that person can do it.
I love it. And you said it beautifully. It's all about the confidence and how you place yourself and how you present yourself. And you know what? We're not going to know everything, but if we believe in ourselves, well, then that is half the battle. Debbie, tell me where people can find you. I see your email address is on there, but do you have a website?
I do. You can go check me out at debbiesodergren.com. The spelling of my name is right there, DebbieSodergren.com. And I also have a YouTube channel. I've got some free meditations on there. They're less than 5 minutes. They have different themes to them. Go check them out. Go follow me. I'm starting my own podcast. It's going to be launching soon. And the important thing is to just be of service to others. And the only way I can do that is by reaching out further. So I love these conversations. If it can help somebody to either get that job or get off the ledge with their stress level or their anxiety, that's what this is all about. We were put here to help each other, not do it alone. And there's enough for all of us.
Amen. Abundance. Well, Debbie, thank you so much. Before we go, I just want to ask you, do you do a word of the year? And if so, what is your word of the year?
That's an interesting thing. It's funny you should say that. So I thought my word of the year was going to be, what was, it's presence. It's presence.
I like it.
It's just being present. It's all about your presence. Where are you right now? When you're in a conversation with somebody, are you present with them, or are you thinking about your past, or are you in your future? Like, it's all about being present.
I love it. I love it. Thank you so much. And thank you for being present with me today on the lift.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me, Pat.
Oh my gosh. All right. Very wise words from Debbie. And what she said there really struck me. And this is a theme that I've been working on over the last couple of years. It's the word service. It's not selling, it's service. So how can we be in service to others? And when you're thinking about going after a job, changing your career, getting ahead, making a shift, think about how you can serve that audience, that employer, those employees, your fellow person. And remember, now this is David Hasselhoff, my little chia seed guy. What you plant grows. So this little guy was just a bald head a couple of weeks ago, but now look at him. Look at how rich what you plant grows, it blossoms, and it manifests. And I wish you a year of abundance and manifesting whatever it is you want in life. Thanks so much for joining me on this edition of The Lift.